Law could lead to some Oregonians seeing lower electric bills. Fox 12 investigates. Peyton Romans has more on the Power Act and the impact it could have on your wallet.
Myra Siegel has lived in Beaverton for almost a decade. She likes to stay as active in her community as she can, as long as she can afford it.
I do have to live carefully, and that's why I go to a lot of free events. I don't go to the things that are going to cost me.
As someone on a fixed income and retired, Myra sticks to a strict budget, but some expenses are simply out of her control, like the cost of electricity.
I walk around with a sweater at home in the winter, and the bill went up. The expense just keeps going up and up and up and up.
A few years ago, Myra noticed that her electric bill, managed by Portland General Electric, was raising consistently, and she wasn't alone. Earlier this year, almost 200 Oregonians wrote into the state legislature demanding action on skyrocketing energy prices. One of the main culprits for the hikes have been data centers. Like this one. I'm standing in front of Portland PDX 12, owned by Digital Reality, right here in Hillsborough. In these centers, they have rows of servers responsible for storing and distributing data. Oregon currently has 131 of these centers, and they all use huge amounts of electricity, putting strain on the power grid and the pockets of Oregonians. But how much electricity are these centers actually using? A smaller 30-megawatt data center will use as much electricity as the city of Ashland. Larger AI data centers, using around 250 megawatts, are equivalent to the usage of the city of Eugene. The energy used by these centers comes at a cost, but the bill has been shared with all of us.
With the unprecedented energy needs come unprecedented costs to our system, and those are costs that all of us are unfairly subsidizing.
Sarah Walkley is an equity analyst at Oregon Citizens Utility Board. The nonprofit created the recently enacted Power Act, which stands for Protecting Oregonians with Energy Responsibility.
What it does is it just seeks to ensure that customers are no longer unfairly subsidizing the energy costs associated with data centers or large-scale crypto.
The bill creates a new customer category specifically for data centers and cryptocurrency so that utility companies like PGE and Pacific Power can properly allocate the energy costs of those large energy users and bill them accordingly. According to CUB, PGE and Pacific Power have raised home billing rates by nearly 50% since 2021 to address rising utility costs, driven in part by the surge of data centers. So, customers with an average $100 electric bill just 4 years ago now would have an average bill of up to $150.
Obviously, energy affordability is a huge concern for Oregonians. Everybody is feeling the increased costs, especially when we're having rate cases year after year. When most people are opening their bills and they're not necessarily feeling a change in service, they're like looking at their bill and they're like, why?
When the Power Act was brought to the state legislature, there was overwhelming community support. Opposers of the bill, like the Data Center Coalition and Amazon Web Services, say they are concerned that by singling out the industry, data centers might decide to move and set up in other states, taking potential jobs with them.
It's not fair to make the customers or the towns pay for things that they should be taking out of their, I'm going to call it overhead.
But for people like Myra, every dollar counts.
They have money, but they don't want to use their money. They want to use the public's money.
A new bill aiming to give financial power back to the community.
That was Peyton Romans reporting. The Power Act has been signed into law by Governor Kotek and makes it so large energy users, including data centers, are responsible for the costs they're adding to the power grid and to cover the costs they create for at least 10 years.